What's up, dudes? Max here, back with another update to a brand new character that's been introduced to Injustice 2, and it is FIRESTORM. It was a bit different of a reveal, as this was actually debuted on the Up Up Down Down YouTube channel, so I'm only using some segments of the clip footage that was used from there. If you guys want to check out the full video that they made this as they go to the NetherRealm Studios, the link is in the description below. But let's talk about FIRESTORM and his gameplay, because that's the stuff I'm mostly interested in, especially for the fact that I know very little about the character's backstory and I've only kind of seen him in a few comics here and there over the past many years. I know a lot of people are going to be pulling immediate similarities to other characters like Cinder in Killer Instinct, but FIRESTORM does seem to be fundamentally a lot different than that, and kind of conducts himself, I'd say, more similar to Sinestro from the first Injustice game, in terms of his projectiles and keep away. I remember Sinestro did have these kind of traps that he can lock you in. We didn't see FIRESTORM do that, but they have explained that FIRESTORM is primarily going to be a zoning character, which reminds me a lot of Blue Beetle, who is also a new character that you can kind of choose between zoning as well as heavy combat prowess with his two stances. They did say that FIRESTORM is going to be mostly a keep-away character, and you can tell from all of his projectile attacks that are pretty fast and do not have much recovery. Although from a little bit of the gameplay we did see, he has some moves that kind of are very Trailblazer-esque from Cinder in Killer Instinct, where he morphs into a fireball and kind of travels across the screen and can do so in the air. How much you're going to be able to use this outside of mobility or just random ender attacks, we don't really know. There was very little gameplay actually shown in terms of all the clip footage that was released, so I'm very much anticipating a full character reveal trailer at some point, probably within this week. His character trait was demonstrated a little bit, where he goes nuclear and he has a different blue aura of fire around him. How much this actually changes his movesets and abilities and everything like that, we don't exactly know. All we know is that it goes up to 3 levels right now, and how that modifies everything we'll probably find out pretty soon. Overall, I think the design looks great. I'm actually kind of happy they went with a more traditional comic book looking design instead of the super hyper Injustice style techno armor that so many characters seem to have. He's got a more realistic traditional leather suit type of getup, and I'm hoping some other characters in the cast are going to have that, because ultimately we're going to be able to customize and change everything and manipulate them to look certain ways, and I'm glad that they're going to give us sort of a base to start with, and that seems to be what they're doing with FIRESTORM. Am I happy in regards to him being a keep-away character? Probably not. Like I said, I did see a few similarities to characters like Sinestro from the first Injustice, although not completely similar in any way at all. There is just a couple of things that remind me a lot of him, and we really need to see more gameplay in terms of how his special moves are conducted, how the power-ups work from his trait. I'm really curious to see if he's a raw zoner, or if you can play him a little bit different, kind of like Blue Beetle, where he's got that zoning ability as well as his combat ability. I'm really curious to see how those modifiers will change from his trait to maybe give him more combo potential or things like that. And that just about does it for FIRESTORM. We're going to wait on more information later this week to hopefully get a more extensive character breakdown from his special moves and everything he can do. But once again, FIRESTORM is actually a character that was from the leak list that we talked about several months ago, filling out the roster with characters that we kind of knew were going to happen but were not confirmed a little while ago. And if we go back to the leak list and look at it now to see the characters that have not been announced, there's a couple in there that are a little interesting. We all know the Joker is most likely going to be there, and there's also Mr. Freeze, which has a very high likelihood of being an alternate skin from Captain Cold, which we saw in a trailer a little bit earlier last week. There's another Watchtower stream happening this week going over Cheetah's gameplay as well as Swamp Thing. I really wish they would show something off of Robin, who's my most anticipated character to play as in the game right now, but I'll take it, and I'm very curious to see what they can do with Cheetah in terms of her gameplay being similar to what Catwoman can kind of do in the first Injustice game. I'm very curious to see how they're going to change stuff up with that, but for the most part, I really want to see what can be done with Swamp Thing. In an environment where you get guys that know what's going on and you get the testers playing the game, I definitely want to see some pretty sick combos with Swamp Thing, and I'll be back to report on that if it looks awesome. As always, dudes, thank you a ton for watching. I'll be back with more Injustice 2 updates as soon as possible, but like I said, look forward to something in regards to Captain Cold as well as Joker coming up in the near future if the leak list is true, and it definitely is looking like it is. As always, dudes, thank you a ton for watching. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.